I'd definitely be lying if I said I didn't enjoy picking out which accessories I wanted to use with my iPad. And finally, all of them are here. Overall, I've been enjoying my accessories and I'm not planning on returning any of them except for the screen protector, because the matte screen protector I got ends up fraying the tip of the Apple Pencil, and I don't really want to be changing my Apple Pencil tip like every month. So I'm currently looking into which screen protector I should be getting that would still feel like paper but not mess up my Apple Pencil tip. So I will update you guys when I've figured it out. I also got a new keyboard that I'm really excited about because I don't know, I just really like typing sounds, and yeah. And also the color just matches my kind of color scheme. I'm pretty much going to be using my iPad like a computer, so I wanted to be able to write on it and type on it and do essays, send emails, log into my courses online, etc. without having to manually type everything. I think that would take a really long time. So now on to the apps that I'm using on the iPad. So the first one that I want to show you guys is this app/website called Coursera, and that's where I'm going to be self-studying this summer some classes so that I can be fully prepared for the more advanced college classes that I'll be taking. They have university professors teaching the courses, and also they have lectures and PDFs that are very similar to a typical university's classes. So that's why I decided to ultimately go with Coursera over some other websites. I have only just started, so I don't really have much to say yet, but I've been enjoying it so far because I really like the fact that it's structured like a regular college class where you have deadlines and you have lectures, and it just feels very familiar. So this next app that I'm using is called GoodNotes 5, and a lot of you guys have been asking me which app I use for note taking, so it is GoodNotes 5. I've been testing out all of the different features, and I've decided for now to stick to black paper just because, I don't know, I think it's a lot cooler than regular paper, and I've honestly never written on black paper before, and it just kind of adds this next level of awesomeness to your notes. The only downside I've noticed so far about black paper is just that you can't really highlight. The highlighter effect kind of gets lost in the darkness. But I don't really think it's too big of a deal, and I've just replaced that pretty much with writing with colored pens instead of highlighting. So I have a separate notebook for each of the classes I'm taking, and I just write them like my typical notes by hand on paper like I used to. So that's pretty much the only thing that's changed, is just that it's on my iPad rather than in a notebook. So this app is called Notability, and it's an alternative note-taking app to GoodNotes, and I ultimately decided to go with GoodNotes just because of some of the features, but I can explain that in a future video. However, I did decide to still get Notability, and I'm actually going to be using it just to hold all of my PDFs and lectures and worksheets that are from classes, so I can write on them and just have them saved comfortably in different folders and sections so I know where everything is organized. And you can also technically do the same thing in GoodNotes and write on PDFs, but it's just more convenient personally for me to do that in the Notability app when it comes to actual PDFs and lectures. And it's just nice for me to know that all of the PDFs and worksheets and everything like that are in one app, and then in the other app is all my handwritten notes, and they're not all mixed in one notebook, if that makes sense, because that's how I would normally structure my folders anyways. I would keep my handwritten notes a bit separate from the PDFs and worksheets. So all of this comes together in this app called Notion, and Notion is where I can combine everything into one place. I'm not going to really go over everything right now, but in short, Notion is an organization app that you can use to make to-do lists, habit trackers, calendars, and pretty much anything you can possibly imagine regarding organization, schoolwork, work, etc. So I'm personally using it just for my classes, and the way I'm doing it is I have a separate page for each of the classes, and then within those pages I have separate sections for each week. Within that is the table for each week where I will put in all of the documents that I have from that week, so the lectures, PDFs that I wrote in and Notability. Any essays that I write, I will put them in there so I can review them in the future. And I'm also putting in there the GoodNotes notes that I took that week. That way I can have everything in one place, so when I'm reviewing for midterms, final exams, I'll know where everything is and I can easily look back. Also, underneath the table, write any questions I have throughout the semester or the week about a certain section, or just questions I have in general, or notes from the professor. And I find that really convenient, and I think it will make my college experience a lot more enjoyable. So I just find it a lot more convenient to have it all in a digital place, and that way also I can have peace of mind that nothing will be lost, because I have some in one app, some in another app, and one in the third app that also is on a website. And so I kind of feel like it's also a backup system for me, because I have lost things in the past and I don't want that to happen. So when it comes to productivity, I've decided to finally break away from my true love Forest, which I have mentioned for many videos, and I'm going to be trying out and using for now this app called Focus Keeper. And I personally just wanted to have one that didn't punish me every single time I wanted to really quickly reply to a text message or just look up something on my phone. I don't really struggle too much anymore with distraction when it comes to actually working, and I don't really feel anymore that I have like an addiction to my phone that I need to fight and not let myself use my phone at all, and to not have my plans dying and stressing me out every single time. At the same time, I also like the fact that the Focus Keeper app, it has timers, and you can customize the timers too, which is really nice, but they have timers so that you know exactly when the 25 minutes are up and the 5 minutes are up. I personally prefer that because I like to have more structured sections rather than where I can go overtime, and then the breaks themselves also can sometimes go overtime, and I personally just prefer having a very structured section. So in between the 25 minutes when I'm working or studying, I like to either look outside or do some jumping jacks or check on Suki. So Suki is a virtual bunny that exists in the app Suki's Adventure, and I have mentioned it before actually in the, I think, Chill Apps video, and I've decided to stick to that one over the other apps just because I personally am more into games that don't really get you super sucked in or emotionally into it or require a lot of thinking and strategy, and I like to kind of limit the distractions that I have throughout the day from my life, so I don't really want to be super emotionally invested into a game and spend hours and hours and hours and hours on it. And this is definitely that game because nothing is really going on at any given moment, just like little changes, but you just have to click a few buttons, and then after that you just watch him either sleep or eat or do something. But it's a very passive game, and there's nothing really a happening or action or things that you have to do all the time, which is something that I really love about it, because it's pretty rare for a game where time passes and just by time passing things are gradually happening and it's just moving forward even without you being logged into the app, which I really like. So I was gradually already over the past several months switching more and more to digital planning in the sense of Google Calendar and Google Keep, just because, you know, when you have Zoom meetings, when you have different scheduled things, it's a lot more convenient to have it in a calendar. Now I've decided I'm going to switch my bullet journal to being a journal of what I've done rather than what I'm planning to do. And instead, I'm fully going to use the Google Calendar and Google Keep, which is great because they're free, to do all of my scheduling and just any to-do lists and things like that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it interesting and helpful. If you have any video requests, just let me know and I will be happy to leave them in the comments below. But overall, that's all I really have for this video. Bye guys!